You want to grow your business, but you're still hesitating about which path to prioritize. Should you go after thousands of new customers, or significantly increase the value generated by the ones you already have? It's a question that comes up often, and it's far more strategic than it seems. The way you answer it could determine whether your company reaches critical mass quickly or stays stuck for a long time in a phase of considerable effort with little to show for it. Personally, I've spent more than 15 years in software development, in environments where growth wasn't just an objective, it was a condition for survival. I've contributed to open source projects used all over the world. I've worked for companies like Red Hat and Virtual Expo, and in each of these experiences, I've seen how a well thought out strategic choice could strengthen a product, and how a bad choice could, on the contrary, slow down or even block its progress. Vertical growth means increasing the number of users. It's the most visible approach, the one that most easily impresses investors or the market. More customers means more visibility, more network effects, and a brand image that seems to be in constant expansion. But this approach also comes at a cost. More users means more support, more technical fixes, more infrastructure load, and more specific requests that can slow product evolution. In other words, vertical growth often comes with greater operational complexity. Horizontal growth, on the other hand, doesn't seek to expand the customer base, but to increase its value. This can mean raising the average order value, offering premium plans, adding complementary services, or improving quality to the point where your customers are willing to invest more. It's less flashy in terms of acquisition numbers, but it offers more solid financial stability and reduces operational pressure. However, it requires more research and development, a deep understanding of customer needs, and a strong commitment to service quality. In both cases, the notion of critical mass is unavoidable. In vertical growth, if you don't reach a certain volume, you remain invisible and your fixed costs eat into your margins. In horizontal growth, the number of users doesn't matter. It's the value per customer that counts. If that number is too low, you can't invest enough to innovate and stay competitive. The problem is that a common misconception still dominates. You need more users to succeed. This belief is misleading. I've seen companies multiply their revenue significantly without acquiring a single new customer, simply by improving their offer and perceived value. I've also seen products quickly reach impressive user volumes but fail due to lack of profitability and inability to deliver on the promises tied to that growth. In the open source world, this vertical versus horizontal tension is particularly visible. A project can go from a few hundred to several thousand active users in very little time, thanks to a blog post, a conference, or an integration into another popular tool. It's exciting, but it brings an avalanche of tickets, feature requests, and contributions to review, quickly exceeding the maintainer's capacity. On the other hand, a project can keep a stable user base but offer advanced features or integrated services that greatly increase its value. For example, an open-source data processing tool could add a distributed computing engine or a real-time integration module with existing systems. These changes don't necessarily increase the total number of users, but they turn the tool into a critical component for those who already use it, strengthening their loyalty and engagement. So how do you decide? The answer isn't found in instinct or the latest trend, but in an objective analysis of your situation. How much does it really cost you to acquire a customer? What is your net margin per user? Do you have the internal capacity to offer more value to your existing customers without hurting your quality or efficiency? If your acquisition costs are low and your market is large, vertical growth can be a powerful lever. If acquisition is costly, but your product lends itself to complementary or premium offerings, horizontal growth might be wiser. Understanding the difference between vertical and horizontal growth is essential for anyone who wants to build a credible and sustainable open source project. Betting on one or the other without understanding the implications can undermine technical stability, community engagement, and ultimately the viability of the project. In open source, growth isn't measured only by the number of users, but also by the real value delivered to those who already trust you. My mission is precisely to help those who want to turn open source into a solid development and business model while preserving its core values. On this channel, you'll learn how to choose the right growth path, structure your roadmap, and build projects that are technically credible, financially viable, and true to the open source spirit. If you'd like to dive deeper into strategies like these and see real-world examples, check out my business model playlist. It's packed with case studies and insights to help you apply these concepts directly to your own projects. If this topic interests you, I invite you to subscribe, like this video, and share your questions or experiences in the comments. To grow, it's not enough to simply expand. You also need to grow what truly matters. Together, we'll build stronger projects and give everyone the means to embody open source at its finest.